What is that black shadow corrupting the nation? Who was this man fighting? And why was Yunara running away? Let's start off this cinematic with the hero of the thumbnail, Garen. We can see he is in a forest within Demacia training with his friends or soldiers. They are most likely from the same Dauntless Vanguard group he is in, and the Vanguard is a specific group of soldiers dedicated towards saving Demacia on its borders from enemies. So, who attacks him? Well, from the get-go, I believe it is Noxians due to the colour on the armour and the way they fight, and the little necklaces he's picking up. Maybe you could think Zed sent the Shadow Order, but the bad guys never teleport. I mean, Garen one-bangs this guy and he just stands there, whereas a Shadow user would have dodged that shit instantly. Secondly, I also thought maybe these are blood magic users, aka in the Crimson Elite within Noxus who are trained by Vladimir. However, I do not think that anymore as they are not using blood magic, it just looks like usual Noxian type shit. Now bear with me, I know I'm going fast through this, but I know for a fact it is Swain who sent these Noxians to attack Garen and his boys. And that is because of that helmet with the 3 pointy thingies, as those 3 points can resemble 2 things. The first being 3 points to resemble the Triferix. And we know that Swain did form the Triferix himself, but I believe that is unlikely. The second resemblance is that the helmet design looks like the foot of a crow. And who is associated with a crow in Noxus? No one other than Swain and his crow-looking demon Raum. It also just makes more sense that it is Swain. One reason being that Swain has always had an agenda to take over Demacia, and in specific, he has had an agenda to kill Jarvan III, the king of Demacia. And from the lore, we know that Swain is the one to order the assassination of Jarvan III through Katarina during the Mage Seeker story. And side note, I believe the Demacia in the cinematic timeline is set before the Mage Seeker event, as Jarvan III is alive and Shyvana is not sleeping with Jarvan IV yet. Speaking of Shyvana, just to summarize the obvious, she's protecting a village in the caves with a hunter known as Quinn, and Quinn's bird who is called Valor. They are fighting a dragon which you could guess is maybe Shyvana's mum, but deadass, it just looks like the Elder Dragon to me. Although, from the lore we know that the Elder Dragon is 10 times fatter than a normal dragon, and yeah, it's bigger than Shyvana, but not that much bigger either. I will conclude my theory on the dragon as literally just a random ass dragon in Demacia. I'm gonna pause the video here and give a bit of context as to why Shyvana is in the ghetto of Demacia. I'm confident you know that Demacia hates magic users. Well, in the actual most up-to-date lore, Demacia kinda gets over their hatred for magic users, as during Silas's rebellion story, we find out that magic users and non-magic users in Demacia were homies in the beginning after the Rune Wars when Demacia was founded. But that is after Jarvan III dies, and I mentioned earlier that Jarvan III is not dead in this cinematic timeline. So at this point, Demacians still outcast magic users, hence Shyvana and the other magic users are in the slums of Demacia. Okay, back to the cinematic. Did anyone actually expect Sona to be in this? Sona is in a city within Demacia, she's vibing and enjoying life. But you see in the beginning of the cinematic that her village is being taken over by some sort of black shadow, which I am very confident is the doings of Nocturne. Nocturne is a demon within Runeterra who escaped from the spirit realm. And the reason Nocturne is an evil bastard is because its job is to literally feed on your fear from nightmares. And I guess when Nocturne gets the fear from people, it gets horny. We know from Nocturne's lore that it is near Demacian territory, so Nocturne attacking a village in Demacia makes perfect sense. And on another side note, Nocturne actually gets expelled from Demacia by Lux when it attacks the city. And speaking of Lux, there is no way you did not think that this rider at first was not her. I was low-key sad it ended up being Yunara, but right, continuing the plot from previous cinematics is also very cool. Let's talk about this. I am super interested in what was actually chasing Yunara. My best guess is that they were spirit animals that have been corrupted or weaponized by unstable magic from Ionia, and that they are possibly connected to the Darkin Zehen's influence or some kind of spirit realm drama. And one final bit is that blue energy is usually spiritual or arcane infusion, although I do not think it's arcane infusion as it would be very random in this specific cinematic. So why is Yunara running to Demacia? What is her purpose here? Aside from her bringing the Darkin weapon to Demacia, I believe it is to inform the Demacians that Xin Zhao is dead. And this is important, as from Xin Zhao's lore, we know that he was the closest person to King Jarvan III, so him being dead is deep for the nation. Also, I believe it could also be for Yunara to warn Demacia about the visions Xin Zhao saw about the fall of the nation from Noxus, aka LeBlanc. Yunara then gets saved by a really hot dude in armor, and I'm certain that dude is Jarvan IV. And I mean, the way that Eagle dived in, that shit reminded me of his ultimate in game. Now, here are the details you might have missed. Firstly, why is there now a glow on the darkened weapon that Yunara is carrying? If you pay attention to that gemstone, when we see it in the previous cinematic with Zehen, it is just normal coloured. There is no glow. So could that glow mean anything? Well, the boring theory is that it's just some Ionian Yunara magic, but the wilder theory is that it is Xin Zhao who is alive. Okay, look, I know normally Darkins control their host entirely, and usually the host is dead. However, we have obviously seen rare scenarios and exceptions. I mean, Kain is an example of this. And Zehen, he is the only Darkin we know for sure who is unique in the sense he was helping fight the Darkins during the Darkin War. And he is shown to be more moral than the others. So I believe in this rare case that Xin Zhao's soul and Zehen's soul are both controlling the body together as a team. Hence the purple glow. I don't know, the theory is far-fetched, but if I am right then holy shit I am a genius. Also, another massive plot twist which I read on a Reddit or YouTube comment, what if Yunara has not even met Jarvan 4? Instead, it's a clone of LeBlanc. I mean, Riot can just do that if they want it, and that would be a really cool take. And it makes sense as LeBlanc's plan from the beginning could have been to use Yunara to bring the Darkin weapon to Demacia, for her to then use the weapon and take over Demacia herself.